Have you ever had that feeling where you know exactly what you want to say, but you just can't find the right word? Well, today we're going to fix that. We're going to build your verbal toolkit with 20 really useful words and phrases that will make your communication sharper and way more precise. So here's how we're going to do this. For each word, we're not just going to look at the definition, we're going to break down how it actually works. Its word family, how to pop it into a sentence, and the kind of vibe it gives off. By the time we're done, you'll feel totally comfortable using them yourself. Ready? Okay, let's dive in.
First up, we're starting with words that help us make sense of the world. We're talking about describing people, comparing ideas, and really capturing those complex feelings. Honestly, getting these right can totally change how you see things, and just as importantly, how other people see you.
Okay, first, let's clear something up that trips a lot of people up. A chemist, that's a scientist. They're in a lab, working with chemicals. A pharmacist, on the other hand, is the healthcare professional who gives you your medicine at the pharmacy. It seems small, but it's a really important difference. Now, let's look at the words on the right. Equal is all about numbers. 2 plus 2 equals 4. It's that simple. But equivalent, that's about function. A store brand medicine might be equivalent to the name brand one. It does the exact same job. And then you have identical, which means it's a perfect 100% copy in every single way, like identical twins. So you've got 3 ways to say the same, but each has its own unique flavor.
The best words often come in families, which is super helpful. Let's start with the verb vary. It just means to change or to be different. From there, you get the noun variation, like a cool variation in a piece of music, and the adjective variable, like a variable interest rate on a loan. For instance, you could say, the weather can vary a lot in the mountains. Easy, right? Okay, now for disputable. That's an adjective for anything you can argue about. If something is indisputable, well, the argument's over, it's a fact. The noun for the argument itself is disputation. So you might hear someone say, whether his actions were justified is highly disputable.
All right, let's talk about how people react to things. Someone who is touchy gets offended really easily, especially about a certain subject. You could say, he's very touchy about his new haircut. Now, sensitive is a bit broader. It can actually be a good thing, like being sensitive to other people's feelings. And reactive? That describes someone who has a really strong, almost automatic emotional response to things. The verb that connects all these is sensitize. It means to make someone aware of or sensitive to something. Think about a campaign to sensitize people to the importance of recycling.
So we've got some words to describe individuals. Now, let's kind of zoom out and look at words for how we all interact with each other, through talking and working together.
Okay, these are 3 fantastic words for anyone who speaks. To be fluent means you can use a language smoothly without a lot of pauses or mistakes. We often talk about a fluent speaker. But eloquent? That's about the beauty and power behind your words. Someone might give an eloquent speech that really moves everyone in the room. And then there's persuasive, which is all about one thing, convincing people. A salesperson absolutely needs to have a persuasive argument to close a deal. They're all related, but they're definitely not the same thing.
Let's move on to some verbs of control. To handle something is to deal with it, right here, right now, like handling a customer complaint. To manage is more about organizing things over a longer period of time, like managing a project or a team. And to aim, well, that's about setting a direction or a target. You can aim for a goal or literally aim at a target. Now let's look at the 2 words for holding on. To grip something is purely physical. You have a firm grip on a railing. But to grasp something can be mental. When you finally grasp a difficult concept, it means you fully understand it. So one is about your hands, and the other is often about your mind.
When we work together in groups, our efforts can be called collective or joint. Your team might make a collective decision, or 2 companies might start a joint venture. They both basically mean together. Next, let's look at a few different words for creating something. For living things, like animals or plants, we use breed or reproduce. But for things like energy or ideas, we generate. You generate electricity or you generate ideas in a brainstorm. And finally, to raise something is to bring it up, to help it grow, whether you're raising children or raising money for a good cause.
All right, our 3rd set of words is taking us into the worlds of science, organization, and just the physical spaces all around us. So, in biology, a species is just a specific group of animals or plants, right? But here's the thing. Species don't stay the same forever. Over time, individuals can mutate. That's just a random change in their genes. This can cause an organism to transform, kind of like how a caterpillar transforms into a butterfly.
And when these little changes happen over millions and millions of years, the whole species can evolve.
Let's talk about getting organized, because there are two key steps. First, you arrange things. That's simple. You're just putting them in a specific order, like arranging books on a shelf alphabetically. But the real magic happens when you coordinate. To coordinate is to make all the separate parts work together smoothly, like a well-oiled machine. Think about it. An event planner doesn't just arrange the flowers. They have to coordinate the caterer, the DJ, and a venue to create one perfect party.
Here are some simple but super useful words for talking about places. Upslope and downslope just refer to the direction on a hill. Are you going up or down? Water, of course, will always flow downslope. Now on the right, let's talk about two places you might wait. A waiting room, like at a clinic, is just functional. It's there for you to wait. But a lounge, like you'd find in an airport or a nice hotel, is designed for comfort. It's a place to relax while you wait.
And for our final section, we've got a really powerful set of verbs. These words are all about stopping something or preventing it from happening. They're very decisive.
Let's look at 3 different ways to stop something. First, you can toss an idea. That means you're just discarding it casually, like it wasn't that important to begin with. A much more serious move is to freeze something, like a bank account or a project. That means all activity has to stop, right now. And finally, a decision can be left hanging. It's not approved, it's not rejected. It's just floating in this uncertain space, which can be pretty stressful.
Suspend is such a great verb. It means to stop something, but, and this is the key, only temporarily. A student might get suspended from school for a week. A driver's license can be suspended. The noun form is suspension, and the adjective is suspended. The big idea here is that whatever was stopped might start up again later.
And our final words here describe different ways of saying no. To block something is usually physical, like blocking a road or blocking a number on your phone. To ban something is official and formal. A government can ban a harmful chemical, making it totally illegal. A boycott is a form of protest where people refuse to buy from a certain company. A sanction is usually a penalty between countries. And a lockout is something you hear about in labor disputes where the company, the employer, actually stops the work. Each one carries a really different weight and is used in a very specific situation.
And there we go, 20 new words for your toolkit. From describing people to taking bold action, you're now equipped to be that much more precise. So here's my question for you. Which one of these words are you going to try out this week? Seriously, putting them into practice is the absolute best way to make them a permanent part of your vocabulary.